Whew, quiet video without any cheery background music. It's like we're talking about something serious today. Oh my god, I swear every bus in Leeds drives past my front window as I'm trying to record a video. What's going on, everyone? I am some guy called Jack, and what you might not have known, oh my god, I am some guy called Jack, and this week I'm going to be talking about mental health. If you didn't know, this last week has been Mental Health Awareness Week in the UK, so I thought that in honour of that I would go ahead and do something freaking terrifying and open up about my personal battles with it, my personal experiences with it and stuff. Please be nice to me because, like I said, this is something I very, very rarely talk about, and only with people who I greatly trust. You know what, I thought I'd just bite the bullet, go ahead and make a video on it. Right, I'm not even kidding. There have been nothing all morning, and now I've sat down to make a video, and like 3 buses in a row and a lorry just went past at the same time. I don't even know if the camera's picking it up, but it's stressing me out. I'm trying to make a scary video! I think it's just me looking for excuses not to talk about this, to be honest. So I saw this a while ago, and I thought it was quite good, quite like a good place to start for a video like this. It's just a little paragraph about how to deal with people who have anxiety. It just says, please be patient to those who have anxiety. They say sorry a lot because they're genuinely afraid they've insulted you somehow. They ask if they're annoying because they genuinely think they've somehow annoyed you. They say things are awkward because they can be uncomfortable in any situation, no matter who with. They don't mean to personally hurt you. They cry because sometimes people and situations are too much, not because they're looking for attention. They don't text you a lot because they're clingy, it's because if you don't reply, they think they've done something wrong. They can be set off by little things, so don't say they're overreacting when they panic. Please be patient with those who have anxiety, they only mean the best. At one point or another, I have been through and had to deal with, I'd say, everything on that list. And the worst part of it all is, at least for me, that when it's happening, you then start blaming yourself, even though you've got no way of controlling it. The majority of things on that list are about how someone with anxiety deals with friends. And for me, a lot of my anxiety comes from fears of losing friends or finding out that friends weren't actually friends in the first place and just generally being alone. Kind of hard to explain because, like I said before, it's not really something that I speak about a lot, so putting it into words isn't exactly easy. So basically what happens with me is I get stuck into these negative thought loops that are pretty much impossible to break out of, and it literally just takes the smallest thing to trigger it. For example, I was at work last week and the status quo changed, and that just completely set me off, because normally we have a sort of a progression of you start here, then you go here, then you go here, and I was working with the same person all the time, and then all of a sudden that person wanted to work in other places, and like where we started, went in the middle and then finished, that all got mixed up as well, and it just completely threw me. It literally ruined the rest of my day. Like at one point I asked this guy if he wanted to come onto a specific station with me, and he said no, it's alright, I'm going down here. And for the rest of the day that was just me. I had just got into this negative thought loop thinking about, oh, this guy doesn't like you then, this guy doesn't want to work with you anymore, what have you done to upset him, what have you done to annoy him, did he even really like you in the first place, and all this, that and the other. And then from there it starts spiralling into every little thing that's ever happened to me. Like if I'm making plans and a friend says they can't make it, that gets incorporated into the loop then, and every little thing that's ever happened starts spinning around in my head, and it just completely overwhelms me. Even though I know that it's a perfectly reasonable thing for a friend to say that they can't make it because they're too busy or they're too tired because they've been doing a night shift or anything like that, I just can't process that idea. The only thing that I can think then is, well, why? What have you done? What's wrong with you? Why are they not doing that? And it just sounds completely ridiculous. Like actually talking about it when I'm not in that state sounds completely ridiculous. But when I am in that state, I literally cannot think anything else. And here's the fun thing. This guy at work who normally works with me, who wanted to work with other people, he mentioned in passing at the end of the week, not even to me, to someone else, I just overheard it, that he was avoiding, and it wasn't like a secret or anything, it's just because I've not asked him. He was avoiding me because I'd seen Infinity War and he hadn't, and he didn't want spoilers. That is literally all it was. All the negative thoughts from it were just my paranoia. It swings in the other direction as well. Like, if someone says something good to me, I find it difficult to believe. Like, I can't get my head around it at all. Just a quick side note here. I don't know if this is part of my anxiety or just me, but I tend to overthink every little thing that I say or do and play out every worst case scenario from anything that I say. And I'm pointing that out now because every part in my brain is telling me that what I'm about to say is going to sound completely ridiculous and pathetic. But you know what? For once, I'm actually going to ignore that screaming in my brain, because usually I take it on board. I think, yeah, you're right, that's going to sound ridiculous, even though there's nothing wrong with what I'm about to say. My brain tells me that there will be, and I just won't say it. For once, I'm going to ignore that because I do think it's important that people sort of understand my reactions that I have to things, and then maybe they can sort of associate with that too and be, oh yeah, I get that sometimes, and it'll make them feel better about it as well. That's the goal of this video, is to make people feel better about anything that they might be thinking or feeling and thinking it's weird. Of course it could backfire and everyone could just comment down below saying, Jack, you're just weird, shut up, no one cares. But hey, I'm hoping that people are too nice to do that. So yeah, I struggle to believe good things, and it just makes me... I struggle to believe good things, and if I can believe it, it has a bigger impact on me than it would on most people. So a few weeks ago, I was talking to the Lord and Saviour of us small YouTubers, Mr. Jim White himself, and in a passing comment, he used the word mate. I was just having a joke with him, saying that it was when his subscribers went up like massively in the space of a few days, and I was saying to him, oh, I hope you don't forget about all of us when you make it big on YouTube. And he just said, no, I'll never forget about my mates. And honestly, as pathetic as it sounds, that literally just made my night. I had a massive smile on my face all night at work. Now, before I carry on, Jim, if you're watching and you're either bigging yourself up or blocking me for being an absolute creep, maybe both, I just want to say that it's like, that was just an example that I used. It's the same with anyone, really. Like, even people who I work with, I will never be the first one to use the word friend or mate or anything like that, because I'm worried that I'll come across as... I'm worried of one of two things. I'll either come across as really pushy and needy, and that person will be like, well, we barely even know each other. But the other side of that is constant fear that I'm not good enough for that person in a weird way, that, you know, why would that person want to be friends with me? And if I sort of push that upon them, that's just going to push them even further away. Alright, I'm saying all this, and this paranoia is kicking in again and telling me that everyone's just going to think I'm looking for sympathy on here. I'm not. I'm genuinely not. This is genuinely what I think. Everything I say in this video is 100% true of the way my mind works, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for people to message me going, oh, Jack, you're an amazing person, don't worry about that. Although you can if you want, that would make me feel quite happy. So just going back to what Jim said, if anyone like calls me a mate or reassures me about something that they like, it means more to me than that person can understand, and like more than they ever will understand, because I'm never going to talk about it, except for now. I'm talking about it now, yeah, which is probably healthy, but I won't ever talk about it to a person. Which, by the way, makes me think, if anyone's watching this who does know me in person, feel free to like comment on it or message me about it or talk about it like that, because I think once I've started, it'd be good to keep talking about it. The only thing I would say is please don't try and talk to me about it in person, because I will probably freak out and shut down and just completely go offline. So yeah, I usually try and hide how I actually feel about things, because like I think when Jim said I was a mate, I think I just sent him a stupid picture, a screen cap from the In-Betweeners going, "Ooh, friend." I just made a stupid joke out of it and left it at that. So yeah, the bottom line about this is that my mind races and overthinks the smallest thing. Like, I can take jokes and banter and stuff, but if something happens that isn't banter, but it also isn't meant in a negative way, I will still take that to be a negative thing. Just another quick explanation of something happened about 10 minutes before I'm filming this video. And I'm saying this mainly as a direct message to the person who it's about. I'm not going to say that person, but they'll know who it is. There've been a couple of times where it's another small YouTuber, and there've been a couple of times where I've commented on a video, and the YouTuber that I'm talking about has happened to reply to, I mean, I've not even looked at all of them, but he's happened to reply to, let's say, 98% of all the others and give them likes or heart the comment or something. And mine isn't one of them, and this is someone who I thought was a friend. And obviously, like, when I'm thinking about it with a clear head, I'm thinking, well, there's nothing wrong with that. There are other things that this small YouTuber has done that make, like, it's obvious that this person does hopefully value you. But when it happens that this person doesn't reply to a comment, but they do reply to a lot of others, it makes me think, oh, well, do they just not care? Are they just not bothered? And I'm not saying this to try and make this person feel guilty. Like I say, this is a direct message to you. The reason I'm saying, I'm not asking for an apology. I'm not saying, oh, make sure to put me at the top and check everything like that. I'm just saying it because I want you to understand that if I message you making jokes about stuff like that, it's because I am genuinely worried. That's what it is. I don't want to seem like obsessive and sort of pushy and annoying, constantly messaging you, but I have messaged you jokingly about it, and it's honestly not joking. I'm actually panicking a little bit when that happens. This is going to take a lot of editing because I'm really not good at talking about this. So that leads me on to my next thing, is my inability to actually say what I'm thinking. Like I just said, I make jokes to sort of try and, oh yeah, I'm just joking, but seriously, tell me what's going on. I cannot say to someone that I am upset about something. I physically can't. It makes me feel sick, the very thought of it. Like, if someone actively annoys me, I will happily tell them about that. I'm not shy about saying something like that. It's if something happens that's a bit more subtle, but makes me think maybe this person doesn't like me, such as the whole YouTube comment thing that I just mentioned, I won't be able to bring that up for fear of being told that I'm being a psycho or a bit weird. So instead, I internalise it. It all gets pushed inwards, which is an issue that I've had for a very long time, and my mum has told me time and time again that it's not healthy. But you know what? Telling me it's not healthy, that doesn't really do anything to change it. I'm well aware that it's not healthy, I just can't help it. And when I start internalising things, there's like progressive stages of what happens. First, I just completely shut down. I don't talk to anyone. This happens at work quite a lot. Often when I'm left alone with my thoughts and I start thinking about stuff, it'll just come out of nowhere. It doesn't even take someone doing something there and then. I'll just start thinking about something and I'll just shut down completely. People will be talking to me, people will be asking if I'm alright, and I'll say enough to pass off that I'm okay, but I won't make conversation with anyone. I'll just completely retreat into myself. And anyone who knows me knows that that's not me. I'm normally quite a happy, talkative person, so when I just shut down, it is quite noticeable. So I'm pushing everything down, and what comes next is the anger at whatever it is that's done it. Like, it's all been, like, the negative thought processes start, and it all comes up into my head, and I'm thinking about all these different ridiculous things that have happened, and I start getting angry about it. But because it's all in my head, I've no one to be angry at. And I'm not going to take it out on people who are around me if they haven't done anything wrong, because that's just not fair. If someone then does something to actively annoy me, even if it's just a little bit, I might snap at them, but I'll feel bad about that later, and that just adds to the whole thing, really. No, what I do usually is I push that down as well. That anger that's built up from the feeling sad, I push that down, like even harder. I have to push that down, and then we hit stage 3, the panic attack. If you've never had a panic attack, you should consider yourself really lucky, because it is one of the worst feelings you can have, in my opinion. In my experience, it's one of the worst feelings that you can have. You can feel your heart pumping against your chest. Time just seems to completely slow down around you, like just everything just slows down, and you can't get your breath, and you genuinely start wondering if you're going to die, because that's what it feels like. It feels like you're dying. Honestly, it's pretty freaking hard to conceal, and if it happens in a crowd of people, those people will likely come over and start, oh, what's wrong, are you okay, what's going on, what's up? And when the whole reason that you're in that situation is because you can't healthily express your emotions and your feelings, everyone asking you to express how you're feeling just makes the whole thing a lot worse. Of course, if nobody comes over to ask if I'm okay, well then that just swings it back the other way and reassures me that no one actually gives a damn that I'm slowly dying in the corner. And, well, that just makes it worse as well. So how's that for a lose-lose situation? Little tip, if you're around someone when they're having a panic attack, I think the best thing to do is to just subtly acknowledge to them that you know what's going on and that you're there if they need them, but don't crowd them. Just let them deal with it on their own, unless they signal to you that they want help. The last thing that I want to briefly touch on is depression. I do deal with that sometimes. I think that's, again, mainly stemming from the grief of my dad dying, but it was there a bit before that, and I don't know that it's ever going to completely go away. I don't know that it's ever going to completely heal. I do deal with it, but it's nowhere near as intrusive as like the panic attacks and the paranoia and the anxiety and stuff. Depression is more than just feeling sad. And it can just be feeling sad. Like, I get waves of just complete and utter despair sometimes. Like, I'll literally just burst into tears for no reason, start thinking about how much better everyone around me's lives would be if I wasn't in it. And again, that's not me looking for sympathy, that is genuinely my thought process when I have these waves. The thing that I associate with depression most is it's not feeling sad, it's feeling nothing. And that has happened a few times to me now. It's not common, but it's frequent enough for me to be aware that it's a problem. Like, I'll be sat in my room, I'll be sat on my bed, and I won't want to see anyone, but I won't want to be on my own. I won't want to do anything. I won't have any motivation to film a video. I won't want to play a game. I won't want to watch any YouTube videos. I won't want to do anything. And I'll just sit there. I won't be sad. I won't be happy. I'll just be, it's just this empty feeling. And you'll just be sat there for what feels like a few minutes, but then you'll look and hours have gone. It's horrible. It really is. Just this complete empty feeling of not feeling anything at all. I don't even think anything. I just sit there in silence. I won't mention any names, but I had a friend and I was in a bar with this friend and trying to talk to him about stuff, which, like I say, is something that I never do. And this friend said to me, "Oh, you're not depressed. If you were depressed, you wouldn't be here with me." And that, I think, is a huge factor in why I don't talk about it. Because that was, if you're watching this, and you'll probably know who you are if you are watching it, that's not an okay thing to say. And again, I'm not asking for sympathy from you, I'm not asking for an apology from you, because I can get why you said it. I can get why it can be difficult to understand, and I think that, again, is one of the reasons why it's difficult for people to talk about, is that if you haven't experienced it yourself, it's difficult to understand how it feels. It's not a constant thing. Well, at least for me, all this, it's really tough to talk about because it's different for everyone. All I can talk about is how it is for me. And for me, it's like there's a switch in my brain that I'm not in control of. It'll just come over me like a wave. And it's I think the main reason that me and maybe a lot of others don't talk about it is because it sounds like you're attention seeking. If you can just be really happy and then all of a sudden you're not. But it's really not, trust me. It's, if everyone in the world felt it at least once, you'd know how difficult it is to talk about. And that's one of the main reasons that I've done this video, is to sort of, I can show it to people who know me but might not understand it, and then maybe they can sort of bear it in mind if I have any of these episodes, let's call them. They can bear it in mind and understand what's going on with me more, and even if they're not 100% sure how to help, I might feel a little bit more comfortable around them because I know that they know that it's not. I feel like I know what I want to say, I just can't find the words to put together. But I also want to reach out to other people who are in a similar situation and thinking that might be thinking that they're a bit weird and that they don't want to talk about it, that they're not alone with it, is that a lot of people suffer from it, and if there are people going through exactly the same as I am, then they can watch this and think, right, okay, well, it's good to know that there's at least one other nut job out there. And that brings me to the point that I want to end it on, is that you're not alone in it. That's what it all comes down to. This whole video, the whole reason I'm filming this, is that I want to show people that you're not alone with it. It is so common to battle some sort of mental illness and to have some sort of problem to deal with. And I think that's another reason that people don't talk about it, is because they're afraid that there's still a stigma attached to it, that they'll be labelled as a psycho or something, or worse yet, be called weak. But the thing that, if anyone calls you weak, that person clearly doesn't understand having to fight with your own mind. It doesn't make you weak. If anything, it makes you stronger, because you're dealing with all that and yet you're still going out and about and managing to function, hopefully, as a human being. But it's so common, and I wanted to prove that, so I reached out to some of my fellow YouTubers who bravely agreed to reveal the thing that they're fighting with and show that even people who seem happy all the time and who post their lives online, they have to deal with it as well. The response I got was actually amazing, and I'm really proud of all these YouTubers for being brave enough to, you know, stand with me on this and reveal to the world some of their deepest, darkest secrets. Take a look. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. This video's been a bit muddled. I'm probably gonna have to spend a long time editing it because, like, there are a lot of times where I started saying something and then completely backtracked because it made no sense whatsoever. But like I said at the start, this sort of thing is so difficult to talk about. But I think it is important that we do talk about it. And honestly, like, I was panicking about it before I started, but now that I've finished, I kind of feel like a weight has been lifted off my chest, because now if I'm talking to anyone and anything bad happens and I feel bad about it later on for the way I reacted, I can maybe just show them this video rather than having to talk about it face to face, because that is just, I am terrible at that. I am really, really bad at that, trust me. Please be nice to me in the comments, because I am panicking about this video a little bit. Let me know if you can relate to anything I've spoke about. Share it with a friend who you think might be suffering something similar. If you're trying to deal with something similar and you don't know how to talk about it, you could show this to your friends and sort of open up a dialogue with them about, you know, this is how it is, this is how I'm sort of feeling about stuff, but I'm not good at talking about it. If I can help anyone, like, I really, that's the purpose of this video, is just to help people, really. That's what I want to do. I want to raise awareness for this sort of thing, and I want to help people who are dealing with something similar. Please leave a like on this video. Click subscribe if you're not already. Thanks again so much for watching. Please be nice to me, and I will see you guys next week for a brand new video. See ya.